Welcome to our virtual classroom tutorial for primary 1 to 3. I'm going to keep it really simple, and it's a step-by-step guide on how to make a classroom, how to use it, and then how to share it with the children. So what's this actually all about? It's our proposed blended learning model from August. And the idea is that come August, families simply won't have the time they have had now to look through learning grids and plan learning. So we need to make that more child-centred in that the children can establish their own little routine. They will be able to do it a little bit more independently, and this is a way that we can do that. There's also loads of really lovely creative things that you can do with the classroom while still keeping it really simple and streamlined, because we're aware that we'll be teaching in class, and this is our home way of simplifying it for us and for the children. We can also use it to forge connection between the bubbles and teams, and I'll show you how later. And also because at primary 1 and 2, there's a chance that the children won't be come October with the teacher they're starting with now. So by having a stage virtual classroom, all teachers will be present in that room. It'll also be a one-stop shop for resources for families to make it a little bit easier. We can really continue that high quality experience at home and school. It's going to be interactive for the children. We can also include challenge and support, and I'll show you how to do that. And it's also that independence for our youngest learners, and that's why in this model I'm going to keep it really simple, thinking about our primary 1 to 3 children. So you've opened your PowerPoint, and it doesn't really matter what version you've got, but remember you only need one stage classroom, so one for P1, one at P2 and one at P3. So if you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this, remember there's probably someone at your stage that's quite tech savvy, so maybe they could be responsible for creating it, and if you've got great ideas or things you want in it, you can help with that. So again, remember that. So the first thing is you've got this space. I want to make this look like my classroom. So you can either go on to Google and you can search for images. So I want a wall and I want a floor. And if you actually search for Bitmoji wall floor, you can get some simple ones. So let's say I want this one. It's a wee bit too small, so I'm not going to go for that. So let's say I go for that one. You right click, copy image, and then right click. And I want to go for, I'm going to do it over here, right click, paste. Once your image is in, I want to resize it to fit there. So I've got my floor and I've got my wall, and I maybe think, okay, I might want to insert a plant. Now you can either do the same again, you can go back to the internet, or what I quite like to do is you can insert pictures straight from PowerPoint. So if you go to insert pictures, online pictures, it brings up a really nice bank. And a top tip is, now that we've got that background, any picture that we add, we kind of want it not to have white around the side, and I'll show you what I mean. So while the pictures load up, let's say I want a pot plant. After everything you type in, type the word transparent, and you'll see what I mean in a wee second. So I want a pot plant to make the classroom feel really natural for the children, and I would have plants in my classroom anyway. There we go. I'm going to put that right there, and it'll bring up some little copyright text, that's fine. You can delete that. So I've got a plant in my classroom. Then you maybe want a window. So you go here, back to online pictures, and I'm going to search for window, but again, transparent, because I want the children to feel like they can see the outdoors. So let's go for this window. Insert. And this is just kind of how you fill the space up. Now, let's say I want that window to go there. Get rid of that text, but that tree is, I need the window to go behind the tree. All you do is you click on either or. So let's say I want my window to go backwards. You right click on the window and you go over send to back and click send backward, and then boom, there's your window disappeared a little bit. Now that's not the best example, that's me just put a random window in there, but you could do lots of really cool things with that. You could set up a wee scene there, you could insert a bird, blah blah blah. But let's say I want to now insert a smartboard. So I go to my online pictures, or again you could go on like YPO catalogues. I know Angie's found loads of furniture she actually has in her classroom on the YPO catalogue. You can go anywhere, absolutely anywhere. In fact, that's going so slow, let me just do that. So interactive whiteboard, go on, let's just get a picture straight from the internet. Okay, and then we'll go to images, and then I'm just going to pick the one I want. There we go, this one looks quite good. So you're going to click on that, right click, copy image, back into here, and then I'm going to paste that. There we go. I'm going to bring that in here. Now, we've now got a problem, because it's got this big white block in it. So in a wee second, I'm going to show you how to remove the background of this picture. So here is a little picture, a Bitmoji that Laura sent me that I want to include in our P1 classroom, but it's got this white background and that doesn't look great. And it'll start interfering with the rest of your pictures. So all you do is, I've made it bigger so you can see. All you do is you click on the image, and if the picture menu doesn't pop up, just double click on your picture. And then there should be this tool here, remove background. So you really simply just click on it, and it makes areas it's going to delete purple, and anything else that it's going to keep, it makes colour. So it's made Laura's mouth purple, but I don't want Laura's mouth to disappear. So all I'm going to do is click on mark areas to keep, and I'm going to just draw around Laura's mouth, because once I've got Laura's Bitmoji, I can use that in anything. I can draw around her wee sandals, down the bottom, down the bottom. There we go. Remember, once you've done this bit, you've done it. And then you click keep changes, and now that looks so much better. So much better. So if I'd done that with that whiteboard that I just put in, it would just look flush upon the wall. And that is how you simply move any background. So now that you know how to add things into the room, and then also how to sort your pictures and to remove the background, you can now start to build it up and think about what it is we actually need. So the first thing you need is a stage classroom layout. So in our example one, this might change, but we've got our board and our rug, things that would actually be in our classroom. And it'd be nice to have story baskets, and you can have teddies and things, but it's completely up to you. That's for you and your stage to decide. The next thing you need is each teacher displayed visually. Now, this little picture of me in the classroom is called a Bitmoji. And if you're not sure what that is, in the next couple of slides, I'll show you how to do that. However, if that's too tricky for you, it could be anything that represents you. It could be your name is just typed in there. It could be maybe you've got like a class mascot or something that could be the picture, or it could just be a photograph of you. It doesn't need to be a Bitmoji, but as long as each teacher is represented. So for example, on this one, there'll be me, Laura and Ruth. The next thing you need is a learning journal link to the login page for parents. So I'll show you how to do that now. So in my classroom, I want there to be, on my notice board, I want there to be a picture of the Learning Journal logo. So I've gone to Google and I've gone to Learning Journals, And I'm going to see if I can copy that little image, copy the Learning Journal logo. And I'm going to try pasting that in there. Oh, perfect. That's worked. So I'm just going to make that a bit smaller. And I'm going to put that on my notice board. But now I want to turn that into a link for the parents. Whenever they click on that, boom, it takes them straight to journals. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Learning Journals and I'm going to copy the URL. I'll show you how to add in links later, but this is a wee sneak peek. And now in here, I want to go to Insert and I want to click on Link. And there it is. So now, when you hover over this picture, you can see that actually the Christorfen URL is there. So now whenever you turn that into a PowerPoint, all you need to do, control click, and that'll take you to journals. So the next thing, we've got our layout, we've got our Learning Journal link. You can do that in any way you like. I know Neil's got his on a little iPad, which is lovely, but keep it simple if you want to. The next thing we thought would be really important would be a notice board for instructions or greetings. This could be a cork board, it could be your interactive whiteboard screen, a blackboard, and it should include instructions initially, maybe on how to navigate it, maybe the weekly focuses. You could have a class message on there, but if you're using PowerPoint, you can use class names and names of children. However, if you're in primary 1, we're going to stick with thing links, so we won't be able to use class names. But if you're in P2 and P3, you absolutely could have pictures of children in there. If it's someone's birthday, you could say happy birthday. So I, in my classroom, have these white notice boards, so I just inserted one of them. And I've written P1 notice board at the top, and now I want to insert a text box and turn this into our week 1 mock-up board. So say I want to maybe, what could I say? Welcome to P1. And I'm going to change that font so it's a bit clearer. Welcome to P1, and you could have anything on there. It could be this is how to use it. It could be make sure you bring your wellies because we've got garden school. It can be anything, but the idea is that each class has one of these for instructions. Let me make that black. So welcome to P1. I'm going to move that link for now and I'll come back to it. Welcome to P1. This week we are making friends, writing our names, visiting the park. Maybe you could have on there, this week we are, it could be your phonics focus, it could be your maths focus, it could be your daily challenge. Totally up to you, but the notice board hopefully will help parents. You could even have, particularly for the infants, you could also fit in there maybe a parent section as well, but that's the next thing you need to have. And lastly, you need to have your weekly learning links embedded. So these are the links that originally would have been in your grid, maybe your YouTube story or a PDF. And initially, if you were a bit nervous, you could embed your grid to gain confidence. However, the ideal thing would be to have each of your links embedded, and hopefully it means we don't need all of that description about an activity. It's simply a click and a go. Now, to help with that, let's say this is my reading section. So for primary 1, I'm going to have a weekly story and it's going to be in this section. So I want when the children click in that story basket, say in week 1, they're going to go to a story about going on a bear hunt. So I need to go to the internet and I'm going to visit YouTube and I'm going to get that story and put it in. So I'm going to search here for Michael Rosen going on a bear hunt. Super. There we go, perfect. And I'm just going to take that hyperlink and go back to the PowerPoint. So all I need to do is go to Insert, and I want to insert a video. So I click on here. It's an online video, so you don't even need to download it. You just simply copy and paste in your URL, hit insert, and Michael Rosen will pop up on here. I'll pause it while it does that. So there we go, that's it in there. That's your video in there, and all the children need to do is just click on that. But I want that smaller and I want to move it around. So I might pop it down here next to story. Now you can then do that for each of your sections. So in primary 1 I've set up read, write and count. In P2 and 3 there might be more areas, there might be more challenges, but I might then set up links in each of these spaces. Now the next thing that I found that's really helped me is to help the children navigate, I go to insert and icons. Now it could be quite daunting for them when they get into the space initially and they're like, where do I go? So if you go here to insert icons, these little lovely little icons will crop up, and actually if you scroll down there are number ones that might help. Even having, you could have arrow ones, you could really use this quite creatively. So I'm just going to go for number 1. I'm also going to take the number 2 and 3 while I'm at it. Insert, and I can then move them around my classroom. And it may be that as time goes on, you maybe don't need them all, but it might be good initially. I've taken the wrong colour, that's going to annoy my OCD, but anyway. So there's number 1 activity, pop it in story basket. There's number 2. Let's put that at the count area, and here's number 3. Let's pop it over at right. And so that's just a wee idea that I've thought of that might actually help with the visiting for children, and they'll get really familiar with it as well. And I'll pop that back there. So that is how to insert all the things you need in your classroom. Okay, so now I'll show you how to insert a Bitmoji of each teacher. Again, you can go for a photograph if that's easier, but I'll show you how to do a Bitmoji. So this is my Bitmoji, and mine was a little bit easier because I have Snapchat on my phone, and when you get the app Snapchat, you automatically make one of these characters. However, you can also download the Bitmoji app for free onto your phone. If you can't do that, if you've got a personal laptop, now this won't work with your school laptop. If you've got a personal laptop, this is mine, you can download the little Bitmoji toolbar for Chrome, and it automatically syncs up with your Bitmoji app. And I can do things like click on this little person, right click, copy it, and you can paste it straight in. And then all I did, this is the exact one I used, all I did was right click, cropped it, and then boom, there's a Bitmoji. But it might be easier to download the app onto your phone, and then all you would need to do is, it'll look exactly like this. Pick this, you might want to sit in, you can even dress them up as bananas and things, but pick the one you want, screenshot it, and then just simply email it to yourself. That would be the way I would do it if I wasn't able to get this toolbar on a PC. So that was really simply get the Bitmoji app, then dress yours up for school, screenshot it, and send it to the person that's designing your classroom, and they can then crop it down for you. So that is the simplest way to put a Bitmoji in. And once you've got it, so Laura sent hers over earlier today, I've saved it in here, and then really simply I just insert Laura into here. And again, Laura's appeared and she has got that white, and you know how to remove the background. You're just double clicking on that picture, you're going up to remove background and going through the same process. If you need any help with the Bitmoji, just let me know. So we'll start with how to add in a video now. You've got your maybe learning grid that you've worked on as a team, you've simplified the language, and now it's just firing the links in. It might be that one person takes ownership of doing this part, and then you'll need one person doing this, or you could rotate it and keep it really, really simple. So over in Story, I'm going to add in a video like I've just shown you before, but we'll do it again. So the video that I want to add in here is this phonics song. I am copying this, and then I'm going to go to Insert, and then I'm going to add in a video, online video, put the URL in, and insert. And actually, because it's phonics, I think I'll put that down in my writing section. So you just let it load in, and then it goes. I'm going to put it down over there, and I'll move Miss Taylor. There we go. Put that over in my writing section. Okay, so that's how to put a video in. You might then want to put some audio in. So over, let's say in the audio section, I want to put something on the belonging wall. That's my listening and talking challenge. I go to Insert, and then go to Audio, and just click Record Audio. Just name it number 1. You click record, and that'll start recording my voice. It could be something like, what did you enjoy about school today? What are you going to bring in to put on the belonging wall? Click OK. And then you get your little speaker. And that can go right there. And when the child clicks on it, that will play that sound. You click record. And again, you could insert an icon, and the icon could be like a number, or it could be something like, you know, a little recording sign or something like that that just draws attention. So I might say that's my number 1, and then I'm going to insert that up there beside that. Okay, so that's you've inserted a video, you've inserted an audio piece, which would be really, really lovely. That's so accessible for the children. And the next thing you might want to insert is just a direct link. So maybe that's your number 1, and you maybe have got number 2 over here, and you want this to be a direct link at your counting table to a maths game. So up here, I've gone for top marks. I'm going to copy that URL, and I want this ruler to become my link that the children will click on, and it'll take them to the top marks game. So I click on the ruler, and I want to go to Insert, and I want to go to Link. And there it is, easy as, and that is it. That ruler is now, when they control click on that, it'll take them straight to that game. But again, I want to really make it clear that that's where they're going to go. So I'm going to insert an icon for that. And I'm going to scroll down and find that number 2, because I quite like the idea of using the numbers, because then, especially in primary 1, that's that number learning again and again. And I'll take my 3 and I'll take my 4 while I'm at it. And then when they load in, sorry, it's been quite slow. Then when they, so number 4, I'm going to put over here. Number 3 is going to be your writing. And number 2 is going to be your counting. And you could even have, like on your notice board in the first week, number 1, you know, click on the speaker. Number 2, click on the ruler. Number 3, click on the clipboard. Number 4, clicking the teddy. And in primary 1, we could simply have that as a picture of what it is they're going to click on, but with 2 and 3, they'd manage that, no bother. You could even record the instructions. So on the notice board, the children simply click on one of these little sound bites, and it tells them exactly what to do. So that again keeps it nice and simple for 1 to 3. So you've inserted a video, audio, an actual link. The last thing you probably would want to put in is a worksheet or maybe some sort of file. So number 4 is going to be a Word document. So I'm going to go to Insert, and I am going to find, let me see, here we go. You go to Insert and then Object. So you maybe wanted to have, from a reading activity, I might want a worksheet that maybe the family can print, or something like that. So you've maybe got that already typed up. So you go to create from file and then you click browse. And it could be your CVC word you want them to. It could be absolutely anything. I'm going to just take something on here. Early level outdoor learning. Let's put that in. You just click OK. You can display it as an icon, which I think is quite nice. And then it'll put that link straight in here. So this is maybe more for families, and maybe for up the school they can actually see that and double click on that and then get that printed, and it just comes in as a little word icon. There we go. There it is. And I can move that over to 4. Again, you might have little shelves. I've seen some teachers have had like a little bookcase and you can organise your things like that. I might have my resources on little shelves. You might have a bookcase that's got like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or like day 1, day 2. So there's my link there ready to go. So that's, you've got a video, you've got your sound, you've got a direct link that'll take you to a website, you've got a document that you can put straight in, and I'm just going to check and see if there's anything else I've forgotten. Yep, that's everything. That's everything you need, or you would need to put into your document. Now remember that once you've got that classroom, you've got it. So once you've got this space, it's there, and you won't need to add any other things into it really. It's just then your links like you would normally be doing, but you don't need all of that explanation. So now you've got it. Let's say you've got your classroom, you've added in all of your links, and you want to share that on journals. So I'm going to do it with Angie's one that she's made for support for learning, just because it's all done. So she's got all of her links in there. It's all ready to go. So what she would do is, let me see, I'm just going to delete this slide. Make sure you've only got in stuff that you want to share as well, because if you've got all those other slides in, it'll share them too. So you go to, you save it. But something that a top tip that I saw was, if you go to save as and you save it, not just a PPTX, a PowerPoint, but if you save it as a macro enabled presentation, it'll save it, but it means when the children go into it, they won't be able to move everything around. Now, you don't want children doing things to your PowerPoint that maybe aren't appropriate and changing that, and yeah, maybe not very professional. So if you want to make sure the children don't start moving everything around, save it as a macro enabled presentation. So that's it there, it's saved. All you then need to do is log into your journals and upload that PowerPoint. That should work for the children. And that is really simple to do. Neil has also discovered a way that you can also do this with PDF. So you can also save it as a PDF and the links will still remain intact. And that might be suitable for children that maybe can't get onto PowerPoint on their devices. However, we might also be able to allocate each child who can't get on, who maybe doesn't have PowerPoint, with a free Microsoft Suite address, and that will mean they're able to get PowerPoint too. So saving it is really simple, putting it on the learning journals is really simple, but if you have issues with that, just let us know. So here are some things that you may do. These are just ideas. The things I've spoken about previously are the must-have. These are just creative ways you could use it. Jennifer thought about, you could introduce the L'Expression de la Semaine on your board. You could dress up your Bitmoji for special days. You can put costumes on them. You could even forge that connection with the other children in their bubbles by putting artwork and things on the wall. Again, it could just be one feature piece of work from the class that you maybe put into the PowerPoint when the children are there. It could be part of your actual routine, so it's not extra work. You can also insert forms, so Microsoft forms, to gather all kinds of data. So P1 are looking to, in the first week, put in their transition forms. So the parent will sit with the child and answer things like, what's your favourite book? What do you like to do at home? What do you like to do at school? And that will go straight to a spreadsheet that Ruth, Laura and I can share. And you could even do things like up in P3 and maybe in P2. What did you enjoy about that today? How are you feeling? Great AIFL as well. You might want to put a parent zone in, particularly in infants. They'll be asking things like when are the PE kits coming in, maybe comforters that they're wanting to bring in. So a parent zone might be really useful, particularly if we're going to garden school or using the outdoors, and we might want to put things on like, here's what we want you to wear on these days. I've even seen schools that have put an exit sign up in the corner, and when the children click on that, it can take them straight to a form. What did you learn? How are you feeling? You could also, just like I've shown you how to insert links, you could insert your class Google Drive link. You could insert your SumDog links. And another really lovely thing is to introduce a graphic organizer for maybe you could have like a story that's kind of labelled. It could have extension activities. You could label it with your subject areas, however you want to organise it and make it simple. Primary 1 are going to trial using ThingLink at the beginning, so we'll create our PowerPoint, but then we're going to create our links through ThingLink. This might be something that you want to do, but it might be easier just to stick to PowerPoint, but this is just for the simplicity of P1 who maybe can't read, and it's the exact same idea. You just click on the links and up pop your clips. But if it's easier to stick with PowerPoint, that's the way to go. ThingLink is just maybe for primary 1 who maybe aren't at that stage of being able to read. So those are just some ideas, and now I'll show you some example classrooms to finish us off. School classroom. Now in P2 and 3 you might want to have part of your classroom that's maybe has a sort of nod to the outdoors. That's just a little idea. Angie has lots of links in here that might be really nice. You could even have like a sensory area, a cam basket, maybe a link to like a yoga video, and up here's a really nice way that Angie's got links to each of her tasks, and then she's got a parent zone that's clearly labelled, so that might be some ideas that you can steal for organising. And if you type Bitmoji classroom ideas into Google, you'll get loads, but this one's pretty cool. She's got almost everything that you click on as a link. I think that'd be quite overwhelming, but you could have kind of icons for the children. Here's a really lovely simple layout that, you know, you could just have your information boards, you could have your learning intentions, you could have your outdoor links here. And this one is really lovely. They've got a sort of artist of the week. And again, really simple and really pared back. But if you need any help at all, just give us a shout. But remember, you only need that one classroom per stage, and that'll keep it simple for you. And once you've set it up, it's just a case of putting your links in, maybe 4 or 5 links, whatever the expectations are at your stage, and then sharing it via PowerPoint onto learning journals.